Hello, my friends, and welcome to day 3 of my December Daily 2025. Today's page or today's story is a very non Christmassy story because we all know that happens during the month of December. And I'm actually documenting a concert, a Zach Sabbath concert that I went to with my son. We also got to meet Zach Wild, which was so flipping cool. Fun fact, I am a metalhead. I listen to all kinds of music, but it is my number one favorite ever. So I already have my journaling printed out. I used the ledger paper from it was either the main kit or the add-on. I actually just printed it. I used the digital. Um, and then I'm going to use that tag shaped paper as my guide for the size of my photos and my journaling because I'm going to add it inside one of the pocket pages that has the vellum window on the front. So I think this tag measures 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. So I'm just trimming out my journaling there. You see, I have a picture on the bottom, but I knew that wasn't going to print right on my paper. So, but it gives me a nice idea of how the photo fits, after I cut it out. So I actually just printed that photo and I'm going to add it to the bottom of that tag. I also already punched the hole in this first tag, and I kind of wish I didn't, which you will see in a minute, but no big deal. Can always just pivot. So now I'm just printing out or cutting out the rest of my photos. This one photo with the band was kind of hard to, crop. I kind of had to cut off sides of a couple arms. Sorry, guys. But, I was trying to make it fit within a certain size. So I'm just going to add these photos back to back. So the reason I decided to go with this pocket instead of, putting it in a page protector, I considered, printing these photos 3 by 4 and putting them in one of the pocket pages. I considered, just printing one large photo and a few small ones, but you can see there the coloring on these photos is all over the place. There's, blue and purple, and then there's like yellow and red and um I just felt like it would clash with everything else in my Christmas album, but I still wanted to include this story. It was a big story during December, for me and my son. So, I tried printing these on black and white, and because the lighting is off, it didn't look right either. So, um, I ended up opting for this. I thought this was a good solution because I can still include several photos. Um, the photo with just me and my son looks, the coloring is not off. So that's why I considered and end up putting this on the side. Originally, I was thinking I was going to stitch a photo to the side of that pocket page with the vellum. But then once I added in all these photos, I've got journaling and then 3 photos back to back. So essentially 4 layers inside that pocket. And it makes the pocket not super thick, but a little bit thick. And so I wouldn't have been able to stitch the photo to the edge of that pocket without having to have something in between. Maybe I could have done a shaker on the other side. That would have been an option for day 4. Um, but ultimately, you'll see here in just a second, once I get done trimming these and adhering them back to back, I came up with using a page protector, and I'm going to stitch the page protector down the side to hold my photo in. I'm not going to stitch it to my pocket page, but then I'm going to use red line tape to attach it to the back of that vellum pocket page. So um, that I felt was a good solution for adding that photo to the side. And that way I can have a wider layout since I am using a 10 by 8 album. I can have a wider layout, add another photo, and then when I come to day 4, that also gives me another opportunity to have um, either an extra photo or journaling on the side or whatever. So um, I'm just adding in my photo tags in that pocket and double checking my measurements because I've got the tags that are one size and then I've got the pocket page that's a little bit shorter. And I had to, of course, account for making sure that my photos and tags aren't in the way of those holes in the pocket page. So right there's where I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to add it to the side. I considered adding that photo on the back. Um, but ultimately, like I said, I end up putting it in just a 6x8 page protector. And then I'm kind of using the grid on my mat here to figure out how much of my photo I needed to cut off so that it wasn't going to stick out of my album. So I think I ended up having to cut off another, I don't know, maybe 1/4 inch. I also considered putting it in that pocket so that you could see Ben and I through the vellum. That looked cute too, but ultimately I'm going to add it to the side because I want to have a wider layout for this. So I just trimmed off a little bit. I'm going to add it to my page protector and I'm going to run it through the sewing machine. Now I ended up having to do this twice because my page ended up sliding around while I was stitching it. So my photo was sitting in there crooked, and no matter how much I tried to adjust it, I still couldn't get it straight, and it was really, really bugging me. So you'll see here, I'm adding it to the back of that pocket with some red line tape right here, and then I'm going to end up pulling that back off. You can see here I'm looking at it and it's crooked and it's making me crazy. So what I end up doing when I stitch it the second time is I end up using some binder clips to hold my photo to the page protector while I was stitching it. And even doing that, I still ended up with it a little bit crooked. So I actually had stitched it down twice, which you can't even see because when I end up adding it to my layout, it gets hidden on the back side. So here I am trying to trim the photo thinking that's going to help, and no, it doesn't. So I realize I'm going to have to redo it, which is fine. I have lots of extra page protectors, so that was not a big deal. Okay, so here is where I have my second attempt at this, which worked out better. And I'm going to add some red line tape to that, and then I'm going to attach it on the back side of my pocket page. And that way, when I come to day 4, I'm probably just going to add a photo on the back and it will cover up that extra part of the page protector. And I know I've got extra plastic there. I'm going to end up trimming that off once I get that on the back there. And I'm just trying to line it up as best I can so that it lays straight and it looks good. So I'm going to trim off that extra piece. And then, like I said, I will add probably add a photo or something like that on the back, using a little bit of temporary tape just to kind of hold that little bit of plastic that's right there in place. And like I said, it'll get covered up when I do day 4. So now I am trying to figure out what I want to do with those tags. So I pulled out these label, or I guess they're considered tab stickers, not label stickers, tab stickers, that I'm going to end up putting on the top of my journaling and photos. And then I was kind of playing around with the plastic stars because I thought maybe I want to add some plastic stars in the front. I end up totally pivoting when I'm done. I don't end up using those stars at all, but I liked the idea of using those. So um, here I am looking at those tab stickers going, why did you punch that hole? So what I'm going to end up doing is actually going through my washi tape and pulling out some washi and kind of covering up that hole um, so that I can add those little tab stickers. I love those tab stickers from the Star Mini Kit. So you can see here I'm adding it right there, right in the center. And then, of course, hindsight is 2020. After I thought about it, and when I was adding the second one on, I thought, geez, why didn't you stagger those? Why didn't you put one on the left and one on the right? So when I do the second one, I do end up putting it to the one side, but that's fine. Nobody's going to look through my album and say, "Gee, why did you put these tab stickers like this? That makes no sense." But um, so I'm going to go ahead and staple that on there just to make sure it stays on there. And I like the added look of that anyway. So pulled out a few of my washies. I've got one with cameras on it, one with black scallops. I actually really like that black scallop one. I'm thinking I might actually go back and change it back. Oh, I am always changing my mind with little details like this. It'd drive you crazy. And then I have this other black one, but ultimately I end up going with the little cameras. I like those. And it goes with, it goes with the theme of this, right? Taking pictures. So I end up adding that to the top, and then I'm going to go ahead and add that tab sticker at the top as well. So once that tab sticker is on the top of both of those, I'm going to give the one photo a little trim, although I think it would have looked good having one taller than the other one, but I'm going to go ahead and slip those in the pocket. I really like how this is turning out. I like being able to put non-Christmassy stories and photos in with my December daily because it just kind of shows life, right? So I'm still thinking that I'm going to maybe use those plastic stars. I love those plastic stars that came in the main kit. And then I pulled out these plastic banners that were from the fan kit. I was really looking for something that said awesome. And thankfully there was one in there. So perfect. There was another one in there that said love this, which also might have worked. So I kind of kept that out. And I wasn't sure at this point exactly what I was or where I was going to put that little banner. So I'm going to kind of set that aside for now. And then I end up grabbing these gold number stickers that I have had in my stash forever. I pull them out every year with my December daily, and for whatever reason, I don't end up using them. So I'm going to grab the number and then a couple stars, one of the little plastic stars, and then another star from my stash, and add a little bit of adhesive on that number. And you're probably thinking, hey, Michelle, isn't this day 3 or story 3? And you would be correct. I don't know what I was thinking. For some reason in my brain, this was story 4. I don't know why. Probably because in my brain, I'm thinking I'm doing story 3, story 4 will be on the back. I've given up trying to understand how my brain works. So anyway, I will end up taking this off and redoing it. You'll see in a minute, but I do end up adding 2 stars that I staple onto that 4. And boy, it's a shame this isn't story 4 because I really do like how that looks. But oh well, I can't change it, because then it would have messed up for story 3 anyway. So I decide to add that awesome banner flag to the bottom of my photo, and because it's plastic, it's not going to take adhesive like that. So what I do is I just end up pulling out my photo and stapling it to the bottom. I also had that other one out that said love this. That actually would have been nice if they were layered together, the love this on the bottom and then awesome at the top. But that one was already stapled down there. It's fine. I like it. It just adds a little something to my photo. Okay, so here is where I'm going to add my page into my album, and I'm looking at it going, oh, I just love this. I love how this turned out. And then I'm going to flip the page and go, oh, this is day 3, not day 4. So, well, take it back out. Let's change the number. Pivot again. So, I'm going to take that 4 off. Thankfully, it came off very easily because I just put it on there. So I considered using the number 3, the gold number 3, but I just didn't like how that looked as much as the 4. I don't know. So I start going through my other larger numbers that, from previous kits. I've got some white felt. That one would have looked nice. I really wish I had a black felt number 3, which I did not. So got a couple different white felt options. And then I end up pulling out the green one from whichever year that was. I don't remember if that was last year or the year before. I really liked that one. So, sometimes when you make a mistake, it ends up being, a happy little accident. Because then I end up adding that 3, and that one looks really good too. And I think I might still actually use that gold 4 um, in some way for tomorrow. Maybe I'll add some different kind of embellishment or something on it, because I'm going to end up taking off those 2 stars that are on there, and I'm going to put them on the number 3. I end up not using the little plastic one on top because you can see the staple marks, but I only had one of the other one that has the gold trim around the edge, so I wanted to make sure I used that one. And once I've gotten those stars off of the gold sticker, I'm going to add those to the felt number 3. I'm just going to use my tiny attacher to attach those. Tiny attacher works perfect for this. Oh, I love how that looks. Love it. So I'm just going to use some red line tape to adhere that to my page. And then I'm going to add it to my album and call it good. I love looking at these. This was fun to create. These photos just make me so happy. It was a fun night. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a comment below if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video, and maybe I'll use that gold number 4 sticker. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for watching.